Rob.
sir.
Okay, back in, I guess it was May 2nd, last year, I was about to get on the Rob Schmitz show on Newsmax to talk about the case. And that's when the Roe v. Wade decision broke, or was leaked. And it was very interesting because I thought, oh, they're going to bump me again. They bumped me a couple of years ago. I was going to be on Fox at some point. I eventually got on Fox. Anyway, they asked me to talk about Roe v. Wade, if I would mind talking about it.
Wow.
I said, yeah, I'll be happy to talk. They had no idea what I was going to say about it, but I said, I still like to talk about our case. So I got on, and Mike Huckabee had just followed me.
Wow.
And he pretty much affirmed what I had said. What I said, Mr. Huckabee, I'm affirming what he's saying, that some states will make it illegal, some states will restrict it, and some states it won't have any impact. But it's a great decision. And I said that the Roe v. Wade decision was a horrible decision. I meant to say the Dobbs decision. That's not the Roe v. Wade decision. The repeal of Roe v. Wade was the Dobbs decision. And I mentioned a movie which I highly recommended. It was called Roe v. Wade. And it was the story of how that case came about. It was based on a lie from the very beginning, which is not surprising. And there's a lady that her character was depicted in that movie. Her name is Dr. Mildred Jefferson. Dr. Jefferson was the first black woman to graduate from Harvard Medical School. And I used to tell her that, I used to introduce her, I used to host a lot of her presentations. She didn't like the word black. She said, I am
Amen.
a Negro woman. She said, I don't want people like Jesse Jackson telling other people what to call me. Brilliant woman, and she was a pioneer in the Right to Life movement, one of the first persons to get involved in the Right to Life movement, even before the Roe v. Wade decision. And she was a regular visitor to this house, and I was one of her many drivers. I didn't drive her that much, and you didn't just pick her up at point A to bring her to point B. You're going to take her shopping, take her get her hair done, and she had 2 memorial services. Now, she was buried in Texas, so there's actually a statue there of her. And but at one of them was basically a reunion of her drivers. And I asked, hey guys, what was the furthest? The guy said, from Boston to Kansas City. And then he had to go 5 miles north, 8 hours south, and all that. But it was a great time. Well, our speaker Brandon was a very close friend of Dr. Jefferson. They did a cable TV show in Boston for many, many years, and and I never thought Roe would be repealed in my lifetime, and I'm sure most of us here didn't think so. But God, we serve a powerful God, so. Let's give Brandon, I call him Brandon Pro-Life. So Brandon, come on and tell us what you're doing. I like that shirt, by the way.
This shirt is from Gary Kangemi. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's a cartoonist and did a lot of different things, but I've got one of these shirts. He passed away, unfortunately. He was too much younger than me. He passed away about 5 years ago. A rare brain disease. So, Mildred, I used to say, what's harder to do, climb the Himalayas or drive from Jamaica Plain over to Cambridge to pick up Mildred at a deli? And she was always late. So, she counseled me too. She said, Brendan, black is a color, Negro is my race. So, anyways, I wanted to speak. I just this Monday, past Monday, I finally am going to get back on the air. My studio in Boston, they panicked about COVID in the worst way. You had to have proof of vaccination, proof of booster shots. It was something else. But there's all sorts of stuff that's gone on, and I'm still very involved. When you say 65 to 70 million people have died from abortion, well, what does that compare to? Well, the Civil War, there was about 625,000 to 675,000 that died, whether from bullet wounds or from infection. And so to think of 65 million, and now with you having when I was involved in starting the show, I said, what am I going to talk about after abortion? Well, there's so many aspects of the issue whether it's women that are hurt medically, they're hurt physically, emotionally, or if it's, for instance, one of the things that's being discussed right now, you hear the media say, oh, they want to get rid of mifepristone, which is the pill that kills the child in the womb. And in reality, and they said, oh, and it's been around since 1980, or no, 20 years ago, 2000, the year 2000. It was when Bill and Hillary finished their 8 years in office. And what they did was rush it through. They rushed it through. They disobeyed many of the protocols that the FDA is supposed to follow. And that's what the case is about. And the thing is, it's a 2-pill protocol, not a 1-pill. The first pill, mifepristone, is the expensive one, and the other one, misoprostol, is a lot cheaper. And anyways, the other facet to realize is that now at least 50, I've heard 60 or 65% of abortions are done with this Mifeprex pill, with the second pill. And I don't know if you saw Unplanned with Abby Johnson's. You know, it's a real true story. But I understand they edited it quite a bit because she had an abortion surgically, and then she had one with these pills. And a lot of women are devastated, absolutely devastated, because they take the pill at home. They can't blame it on an abortionist. And then they see the baby that they've aborted, you know, whether it's in the toilet or in their bathtub. So the lies on this, and this is going to come back. But if we can stop this mifepristone, we can stop a lot of abortions and make them a lot harder. I wanted to talk about one other thing. I hope to have this guy, I think his name is Gary Lee Dixon. He's from East Texas. That's where Mildred Jefferson is from. And he has started pro-life sanctuary cities and counties.
Wow.
And he's, the state of New Mexico has countered by trying to overturn what he's done, but he's got a case that's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court based on a law that was passed in the middle 1800s called the Comstock Law. And that Comstock Law says you cannot bring poison in to kill people. You can't do that, bring it into the country or go between states. So the abortion industry is very worried about the Comstock Law happening, and in this case, eventually making it up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So those are two important things that are happening in the pro-life world right now. And when I got involved with this, we were just trying to get the pro-life voice heard. And now I know many, many people, almost all of the people in the pro-life world here in America. And I've even had people as far as away from Australia come on the show, which is really something. So I'm looking forward to taping shows again. They fit in the half-hour time slot. Mildred was one of the co-hosts initially. Bob Joyce, I don't know if you know Bob. He was another one. I've got Colby Mazzarella. She's one of my hostesses. She's now the president of the Pro-Life Legal Defense Fund. And anyway, so there's a lot happening. The other thing I wanted to mention was when Dobbs, on June 24th, which was Nellie Gray's birthday, ironically, the lady that started the March for Life, June 24th. What was I going to say? Was I just done? Nellie and...
Dobbs decision.
Yeah.
When did you start that? What year?
October of 2003.
The March for Life?
Oh, no, that goes back right the year that I was a freshman at Georgetown University. It was 1973. So the first march was, I think, in 74, January of 74. So anyway.
What was the first revival?
I'm sorry?
That was the first revival,
Yeah. yeah.
73. Notre Dame and a whole bunch of
I don't know about that. What kind of revival are you talking
the
about?
Holy Spirit revival
Oh,
in the Catholic
yeah.
Church in
Oh.
73.
Okay, anyway, so there you have it.
All right, and
Thank
how
you
can
all.
people find your stuff archived at all, YouTube or anywhere
Yes,
else?
well, basically, you can go to Life Matters TV. Got to get the TV in there, and then .org or .com or .net. And we've done about 740 shows over the years, and not many the last couple of years. And also, you can view about off the website, or right on the website. We have about 240 full-length shows on the website itself.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head out.
So there you have it.
All right, great. Thank you.
Could I share a comment?